Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome to the Multiverse Leadership Podcast. What's one belief about yourself or your business that you know is holding you back? And what would happen if you let it go just for today? Today, I'm joined by Jake Smolarek, renowned life and business coach, serial entrepreneur, and motivational speaker known as the Miracle Worker by his clients. Jake has helped countless people and businesses break through self-limiting beliefs and achieve lasting transformation. Drawing from his own journey overcoming adversity, he's passionate about helping others unlock their full potential and rewriting their stories. Jake, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Would love to start off with having the audience know a little bit about your journey, kind of how you became the high performance coach that you are.
Well, in a shortcut, I came to the UK. So I live in London, UK. I came to the UK 21 years ago with 150 pounds in my pocket, which is about $180. So I didn't have much, but I had one thing. I had one massive dream to become successful. I had no idea how to do it, but I knew that I'm going to do it. And I did it, in a shortcut. I know that we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but yeah, this is what happened. And I built my first business, and then another one, and then loads of people were coming my way asking me for some advice. And then one day I was like, I should start charging for that advice, and this is how I became a life coach and a business coach.
Charging people? What? That's outrageous.
Of course.
Who does that?
Of course, because the most expensive advice that you can get, it's actually free advice.
I'd love to know what you mean by that.
Yeah, it's just like, especially, I give you a very harsh example. So as much as I love my mom, she was never a very successful entrepreneur. She tried many times. She did okay-ish, but she was never ever extremely successful. And when she started giving me advice on like how to run my businesses, I have to say like, stop. I'm sorry, mom, but please don't give me advice on how to run businesses, because you never had a very successful business in your life. As much as I love you, I will come and eat the dinner because you're the best cook I know in the entire world. And I can take, cooking advice and cooking feedback. But with regards to the business, I will find myself different mentors who, like they build multi-million dollars or pounds or euros businesses. So I'll take advice from them. So this is a very harsh truth. It was difficult for her to hear that, but it was like, fair enough, you go and conquer the world, son. So that was nice.
I actually feel that, because they always say you never take advice from somebody who hasn't done or who is going in the direction where you want to go. You're not going to ask your dad how to build a business when all he's done is just work 9 to 5.
Exactly.
But people don't get that sometimes. They feel that they can go talk to anyone about any advice, but that's not really the case. We need someone who's
exactly, and going back to my my mom example, is just like, because she was very protective, like every single, most of the moms, right? They're like, oh, don't risk it, go safe way, get a job, get a safe job. And I'll be honest with you, when I started my business when I was like about 20 years old, I actually said to my mom that I'm running a business about 3 years later. I was so afraid. I was like, not even afraid. I was just like I want to spare her that pain of like worrying about like, oh my God, he's now not even having a job, he's running a business. Basically, I was saying like, when my mom asked like, oh, do you have a safe job? I was like, yeah, I've got a great job. How is your boss? Oh yeah, the greatest guy in the world, because I was my own boss.
He's awesome.
He's the best guy. He's really good. Like, I'm asking for a day off. I want a day off. He's not giving me a day off, but I have to work 24 hours a day.
I resonate with that well. I'm sure a lot of people in our audience do also. Your parents care about you, but at the same time, they want what's best for you, from what they know and what they've been through, from what they understand. Yeah, sometimes 100%. Building a business, they don't really get that. There's different things going to work 9 to 5. This is hard work.
Everything is hard work. If you want to be very good at something, it just takes time and effort, right? And hard work. When people say like, oh, you have to work smart these days, don't work hard. No, you still have to work really hard. Obviously, work smart at the same time. Obviously, because
Yeah.
just, hard work on its own, it's not going to bring you, success. You're not going to become very successful just by working hard, because minor workers, they work hard all day, but they're not very rich, they're not very successful. Some of them, they might be happy, but hard work on its own, it's not the guarantee of success. Working hard and being smart and being adjustable, having a planning process, not just a plan, that's the way to go. Plus many more things. So yeah, you have to be smart about it.
I love how you said that, because you could be working so hard on the wrong things.
Exactly.
Like you're saying, the mind workers, they're working hard, they're getting done what they feel they need to be doing, but they're not actually progressing anywhere. They're not moving anywhere. They're just staying exactly where they are. Exactly. That can be very problematic.
It could be.
And then when we first came on here talking about high performance working, because we're still up, we're doing podcasts, we have our days still going. Now, were you born as a high performance person, or is that something you learned over time? And what were those things you learned to become high performance? Unless you were born that way, that's fine too.
No, I definitely wasn't born that way. I definitely had some kind of talent. Like we all have. We all have piece of genius inside of us. It's just most people, they never use it. They just like they save it for later on. Like, oh, I will save it when I'm going to be 65 years old, then I'm going to use my genius or whatever it is. We all have it. Unfortunately, most people, they never use it. Like, for example, at school I was average. But school is overrated. School is teaching you things that you can't even use in real life, especially like as an entrepreneur. At school I was told, don't cheat. Like, what do you mean don't cheat? I have to do everything on my own. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to work with other people. Otherwise you're fucked. It's like you can't succeed on your own as an entrepreneur. You have to, especially when I work with my clients, I always say like you have to delegate. You have to delegate as much as you can so you can concentrate on the most important thing. So that's at school, that's cheating, but in real life, that's what you have to do. But no, like at school, I was average. So, but then I realized that like, hey, my brain is just analyzing everything, and it could be good, it could be bad. It depends how you use it. It's like, okay, if this is my strength and my brain is, I am like, if you use the personality type on Myers and Briggs personality test, I am INTJ, which is called the mastermind on architect. Like, and again, pros and cons. It's not that this will define me, like, hey, this is what I am. It's like, no, those tools is just a helpful thing to understand yourself. But like, okay, if I will analyze everything, then I will use it for my advantage, which I do, But then, for example, I'm not very good at writing. I'm good at talking, not very good at writing. But for example, in marketing, you have to be good at writing, or you have to delegate. That's why, for example, when I do creative things like writing, I will actually use a copywriter. I will sit down with my copywriter. We will talk for 2 hours. We will either record it on Zoom, or these days we will use one of those tools that will summarize the entire meeting. And there you go. We're going to have an article, a new page. I will be launching a book quite soon as well. Maybe not this year, probably beginning of next year. But on my own, I would never write a book. But these days, using tools, you can do anything you want, especially these days. I mean, look, there's a beautiful book called The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. And that book, yeah, it's a great book. The whole book is talking about basically delegating everything. And that book was written 18 years ago. 18. Like, that's a long time, almost 20 years ago. And it's still relevant because, 18 years ago, he was talking about like, hey, find someone in, I don't know, Philippines and India or somewhere and delegate, basically have a VA, virtual assistant. And having a virtual assistant, for me, it's a must these days.
I love how you shared that we must delegate, because so many of us feel that we have to do things on our own, that we have to have the skill, that we can't give it to someone else to do. And that becomes, we get very overwhelmed with that.
100%.
I learned that in my journey. I'm like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to learn this. But then like going through my healing process and my journey on building a business, I realized that I can find people and utilize their skills to help me get where I need to go. I don't have to necessarily learn everything, but I have to understand it to a point to understand what I need. And then when I know that I can put in an SOP and, like you said, give it to a VA. So yeah, it's very
100%.
important, because a lot of businesses become very stagnant if they don't do that. They don't move how they need to. They
Yes.
rely on themselves too much.
A lot of entrepreneurs, they've got this thing that I call a superwoman or superman syndrome. They want to do everything themselves because they believe that they are the only one who can do this thing so well. But the truth is, there are probably hundreds, if not thousands, of people who could do it way better than you, because you're not as unique as you think you are. And
I'm not a special snowflake. What do you mean?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, yes, you are a very unique human being, and as a human being, you're probably the only one on this planet. But there's another interesting book written by Seth Godin. Most entrepreneurs, they should know Seth Godin. It's a marketing guru. I've got one of his books just there. But I'm talking about another book. It's called The Purple Cow. The Purple Cow. The book is talking about, imagine that you're driving a car in a countryside somewhere. It's a beautiful summer day. It's amazing. You're driving your car and suddenly you see loads of cows, loads of them, right? And they all look the same. They all look the same, but they are actually not the same. The pattern on their skin, it's different. Let's imagine that they're actually white and black, right? They're very traditional white and black cows. And in your eyes, they look exactly the same, but in reality, they're not. They're very unique. But then suddenly you see a purple cow, and your entire attention is on that one purple cow. And basically what Seth Godin is trying to explain in that book is like, you have to become that purple cow. You have to stand out if you want to have a successful business. Otherwise, your business will look like a cow, like another cow. It's not as unique as you think. Most business owners, they think their business is extremely unique. Well, unfortunately, it's not. It's just another cow. Yes, you are unique as a human being, but your business is not as, unique as you think it is.
Oh, I feel that when I first started in this space, I was like, oh, I'm going to get so many clients. I'm going to do so well. Everyone's going to build it and they will come kind of mentality. Little did I know, that's not really the case.
Yeah, it is a quote from one of their movies, right? I can't remember the title.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But unfortunately, the harsh truth is, if you will build it, they might come, but probability is that they will come is small if you're not going to do more work like marketing and branding and advertising, selling, lead generation. If you just build, probably no one will fucking come. Sorry for saying that, but it's just like, just building it, it's not enough. Just because you build a website and you're not going to do any SEO and Google ads and meta ads and any other paid ads and just generate the traffic to the website, no one is going to buy from you, unfortunately.
I feel that's a huge misconception when people first start out, when they go from their 9 to 5 to, I'm an entrepreneur now. I'm going to have a successful business. I'm going to build it. They're going to come. I'm going to have so much blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And like, they realize, wait, there's more work that really goes into this.
Yeah,
like, there's so much work in building a business. We are insane for thinking that, hey, let's build a business. This sounds like a great idea. Why not? It's a little crazy. A little crazy.
It is. And I think it was Joe Rogan in one of his podcasts when he said, you have to be a little bit mad. You have to be a little bit crazy. You have to be obsessed about what is it that you actually want. And I think he said something like, madness and genius are next door neighbors and they borrow each other sugar, because you have to be a little bit crazy if you want to be successful. A lot of people ask me like, you are a very successful business coach. How do you do that? I mean, first of all, I built quite a few successful businesses, including non-profit organization, which I built with my business partner, from 2 volunteers to over 600 volunteers in a few years' time. 600 people, that's a lot of people to manage. right? And then I want to be the best of the best coaches in my industry. So I don't only read about coaching and how to help people. I read about psychology, mindset, about human body, how it works. That our body is basically all about chemistry. So I will learn about chemistry. I'm not the best student in the world, but I will sacrifice loads of hours just to get better every single day. And then people say, how do you do that? I never quit. I work every day. When I'm on holiday, I will work on myself. I have a framework that I called no 0% days, which means you have to do something every single day, every day. It doesn't matter if it's Sunday, Wednesday. As an entrepreneur, for me, it doesn't matter if it's Sunday or Wednesday or July. It just doesn't matter. I do what I want to do. Like, for example, when I go on holiday or vacations, as you say in America, I will also work. And people's like, why do you work when you are away? Because I love what I do. I don't need a break from what I do because I love it. I'll take a break because I love seeing new places and I love, seaside, and I love swimming and kite surfing and doing crazy things. That's why I go, on holidays, but I don't need that break.
I love that. I feel that same way. I always get into that argument with some of my friends and stuff. They're like, "What are you doing? You're focusing too hard. Why don't you ever take a break?" And I'm like, "I'm not just staying busy. I'm trying to build something. I'm creating something, and I enjoy and love what I'm doing. But a lot of them don't see that. They don't understand what goes on in the background. That we're always working. I love how you brought that up.
Yeah, it's just most people, they don't understand that being a human being, we have a choice of actually doing whatever we want. And it doesn't matter where you're coming from. I'm not coming from a very rich background. I'm coming from actually quite a poor, not extremely poor, but I didn't have a lot. If I want to buy myself, a nice new shoes, I have to work for it. And I was actually happy that I started working when I was 13, 14, doing some extra work, outside of school and during
Yeah,
summer
perfect.
holiday and winter holiday. I loved it, you know. I loved it. I really wanted to. I was earning like really crap money, like so little, but it doesn't matter because it was my money. I earn it and I can spend it as much as I want.
You saw that value in that, and it gave you
100%.
purpose too. You had purpose at a young age.
100%. I'll tell you a little story. It's like when
Yeah.
I was about 20 years old and I found myself my very first mentor. We met in Mayfair. Mayfair is like one of the most expensive area in London. It's like one of the most expensive area in the entire world, actually. And we've
Whoa.
been drinking coffee, outside of his apartment because he's still living in Mayfair. And this guy is a billionaire this day. He was close to be a billionaire 20 years ago when I met him. But we were chatting, and I basically met with him, and I was asking him those questions like, "Help me become successful. I want to be rich. I want to." Have things. I want to help my mom and my brother and my dad, and it's just like I must have it. And he was looking at me and he was like, "Oh my god, you're so hungry. You just like, I can see that you're like relentless. You will do anything." And he said to me like, "I wish my kids would be like that, but unfortunately, because they have everything. Whatever they dream about, they will have it, like just like that, because I will buy it. They spoiled, and they will never have that hunger, never
Kind of
ever."
sad. Kind of
And
sad.
he said like, "I wish they would start from nothing." But he said something like, "I'm not a good parent because I gave them everything." I was like, "No, that's nice." Well, like, it depends how you look at it. You know what
True.
I mean?
I love how you said that because you come from money. Sometimes it's hard to really see and understand where it looks like to build something, where it looks like to have that purpose to help other people and gain
Mm.
knowledge. It's a really interesting thing. I've
Yeah.
heard that a lot.
I In the last 15 years, let's say 10 years, I had a lot of friends and colleagues, British people came to me, and they've been asking like, how did you do that? Like, you're doing this and that, and you build non-profit and construction business and coaching business. Like, how do you do that? And I say, look, you inherited a lot of things from your parents. You've got a house or an apartment, you've got a good job, you have a very safe and a very comfortable life. It's okay, but it's a golden cage. It's just like it's nice and good enough. You don't want to leave it. When I came to the UK, I have nothing to lose. Like nothing. I had £150. And when I landed at Gatwick Airport, which is like the second biggest airport, I have to spend almost £40, almost 1/4 of my fortune on a bus ticket going from Gatwick to a small village in Wales called Abergavenny, where I was.
You didn't
What I
want to
get?
walk?
Say again.
You didn't want to walk there?
I could, but it's quite far away. I mean, remember, I was going from Gatwick, based in England, to Abergavenny, based in Wales. It's kind of a different country. Well, I came here with like almost nothing, and when people say, "How did you do it?" It's like, when you have nothing to lose, you just go 100%. It's just go all in. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who they wish to go all in, but they are like, okay, all right, I'm going all in. I mean, I'll bet 10 chips or 5 chips. Well, I'll bet 2 chips. Okay, I'll bet a chip. Okay, can I bet half a chip? It's like, no, you're going all fucking in. And because if you go on in and you lose everything, you just try again. That's it.
That's what business is. I'm learning that.
Especially when I mean, of course, if you are in your 40s or 50s and you have kids and a dog and a wife,
Your
and
risk is a lot higher.
sure, don't risk it. But if you're in your 20s and you have nothing to lose, I'm talking especially to people in the 20s, like when they at the very early stage, don't worry about it. If you lose money, you can always get the money back. But when you go all in, and even if you fail, you will get a lot of feedback, because more often than not, I say, we're using the wrong F word. It's not failure, it's feedback. When you fail,
Ooh, I like that.
and you don't do anything about it and you just stay there, that's failure. But if you fail and then you get up, it's feedback, not a failure. You learn from it and then you do it again. And if you fail again, then learn again, and then try again, try better.
I love that. Never give up. Never give in.
No, I mean, again, you can change your minds, but just make sure that if you have the vision, and it's a very important thing to have a vision, to know what you
People
want.
don't. A lot
And
of
that's
people
a
don't
big
have
mistake. And that's a massive mistake, because, look,
How do you build a vision? What's the vision? Why did I know this is going to work?
I mean, vision is something for your life. So I've got another framework which is called a vision GPS. So vision is something that you want to do with your life. Vision is for your entire life. Vision are not goals. The GPS, it's an acronym from goals, planning process, and systems. So there are goals there. I'm big on goals, but vision is something bigger than just goals. Is how do you want to live your life? What do you want to do? What kind of people do you want to meet? Where do you want to travel? Everything. Like, you're dreaming big. Vision is, you call it your dream, your North Star, whatever, right? Your entire life. It's a massive thing. Also,
I feel that.
you know, and dream big. A lot of people, when we are kids, when we are young, we dream big dreams. We are like, I want to be an astronaut, and I want to be this, and I want to be like my daddy. I want to build a business. And
where does that go and become adults? Like disappear.
It just disappeared, and people stop dreaming, and the only dream is like, I want to go home and drink a beer, after work. It's like
the next day.
It's just like, that's no good enough. Dream big dreams. Because it's just like, if you dream big and you only achieve half of it, if you're still better off than most people. If you aim to the stars and you landed at the moon, you're still better off than most people, probably about 98% of people. That's why I always say
more than that.
Yeah, probably. That's why I always say to people, dream big, don't be afraid. At the same time, I have to explain that, like, when I say to people, have a vision, use the vision GPS, and people say, like, oh, I'm not really a visionary person. Like, oh, I don't really dream that big. It's your vision.
Anything with your life.
No, it's your vision. You don't have to be the next Bill Gates or Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg. Just big, a little bit bigger than most people. At the same time, remember to have your own goals. Don't try to have other people's goals. it happened to me quite a few times when I have young people coming to me and saying like, hey, I want to buy a Lamborghini. And I'll be like, okay, cool, good goal if you want to. I mean, not my goal. I sat in the Lamborghini. I was driving a Lamborghini. It's a shitty car. Sorry for saying that. I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of German cars. Quality. Everything
Porsche,
is
my son.
precise. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
anyway,
yeah, brother.
I'm not saying Lamborghini it's a bad car. It looks great. It drives great. It's just like, but they coming to me and they say like, hey, I want to drive a Lamborghini, and they say like, have you ever sat at a Lamborghini? Have you ever driven Lamborghini? And they would say like, well, never. It's not your fucking dream then. Someone sold you that dream, but it's not your dream. You saw someone on the Instagram that like, hey, I'm driving. It's not your dream. Society or someone who is faking probably on the Instagram sold you that dream, but it's not your dream. You have to dream your dreams. You have to have your own goals. This is very important.
Hard sometimes. People get it gets convoluted with all the social media if we don't know who we are or what we want.
Yeah.
We want what we think we want. Right? That's why I love how you said creating the vision, because people like kind of let themselves down before they start if they don't
100%,
do that.
100%. But when you drive a Porsche, for example, okay, if you want to buy a Porsche, great, but make sure that you buy that car at the right time. Don't buy it at the very beginning when it's going to drain you out. Buy it once you made it. Once you already have 3 properties, or once you already have 2 successful businesses, or whatever. There's a sequence of events, and buying something that is not making you money, something that is not an asset, because it depends from person to person. Like, my car is not an asset, but if I am an Uber driver, then my car is an asset. So it all depends, right? People say like, oh, buying a house is an asset. Well, it depends. If you're living in that house, it's not an asset. It actually costs you money every single month. If you're renting out or you're doing Airbnb, then yes, it's an asset. So it all depends. You have to be very smart about that.
That also comes back to what we're talking about, what they're teaching you in school. They don't teach you any of this stuff. We learn and understand things so backwards. By the time we get into the real world, we don't know how to achieve or what to do or what to buy or how to accumulate. We don't get the right steps. We don't know what to do.
No one is teaching us how to use money at school. No one is teaching us that actually money is very useful, and how to get it, and then how to use it, and how to invest, and how to save. It's just there's nothing about that.
It's a tool, and it gives you options.
Yeah, I mean, when people say like, "Oh, money can't buy you happiness," well, if you're saying that, I think you're shopping at the wrong shop, mate. Because money can give you happiness. It's just if you don't have money and then suddenly you have money, money will give you happiness and options. If you have loads of money, then more money will not give you more happiness. That's what it's all about. But when people say like money can buy you happiness, it's out of the context.
I agree with that. I had a conversation a while ago with my sister. I brought this up before on the podcast. They're like, what would you rather be? Poor, trying to find out where your next meal is coming from and have no money? Yes. Or have money, know when your next meal is coming from and know you're going to be okay? Yeah. Which pain would you rather have?
Exactly.
I have the pain of having money so I can actually create happiness in my life with it. Instead of being poor and miserable.
100%. I think it was Benjamin Franklin, I'm not exactly sure, who said, if you want to help poor people, don't become one of them. It's a powerful saying. It's a powerful sentence. Because
I love that.
It basically says that like, if you want to help others, help yourself first. That's why when you're on the plane, when you're flying somewhere, they always say to you that like, if their oxygen mask will pop out, you put it on yourself first and then you help others. It's like you cannot be like a mother who's trying to help their children. No, you help yourself and then you help your children. Because if you help your children first, then you're probably going to die, unfortunately. I don't want to be too dramatic now.
Then you can't help them.
That's it. That's why you always put yourself first and you help yourself first and then you can help others.
I love that, and I feel that a lot of things are very backwards. People
Oh
don't
yeah.
understand. You got to heal yourself, help yourself,
Mm.
do the right things, be a little selfish for yourself
Yes. There's
without
nothing
being
wrong.
without being conceited about it. But
That's
people
it.
feel like they can't love or help themselves without, oh no, 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 I have to help everyone else around me. It's
Mm.
crazy to me, you
Mm.
know. But yet
Yeah.
they're miserable because they're miserable helping all these other people. But they could have been so much more happy if they just helped themselves understand things a lot
That's
better,
it. That's it.
work on themselves, create wealth and everything else in their life as abundance.
100%.
I see that every day. People judging people based upon what money they have or don't have, instead of just going out there and actually helping people understand, helping them get to a certain point. Now, you can't help everyone. Not everyone wants to be helped, but those who do, they should be able to get that help from like listening to us on this podcast, understanding there's other ways of doing things, to reaching out to someone like you as a coach and helping them drive their business, help their life, help become better human beings. That's really what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah, and at the same time, this is such an important subject. It's nothing wrong with actually asking for help, especially men. Especially men. When I work with a lot of men, not only I work like with a mixture of men and women, but a lot of men, when I ask them what is the most difficult things for you to ask for, they would always say help. They just like, it's so hard because I am man. I have to provide. I have to be that lion. I have to be that wolf. I have to be the alpha. I have to be the strong one. But we all need some
Yeah.
help. We
Over
all,
time, we built up to be that person. That's what society's always said to us.
yeah, it's just
Help
like, oh,
yourself.
boys do not cry. No, we do
Yeah.
fucking cry. We do have emotions. We are human beings. There's nothing wrong
Why
with it.
wouldn't we?
Exactly. But because the society says like, oh, every single man, there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. Like, I do agree with Jordan Peterson, who says like, there's
I
nothing
love that
wrong with
guy.
being vulnerable. There's everything wrong with being weak, just a weak man. But there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable, from time to time. And I do
People don't
agree.
understand those differences.
Yes, we
Weak
have
and
to understand.
vulnerability are not the same thing.
It's the same, like, look, I am a proper introvert, and sometimes people say to me like, oh, you must be lonely. No, 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 I am alone a lot of, more of the time I am alone. Yes, I love spending time with my girlfriends, etc., but I love spending time with my own. And I'm not lonely. I'm just alone. I'm just, being with myself. But a lot of extroverts, they think like, oh my god, such a poor person. Like, no, I have a quality
Poor
time with
thing.
myself. Yeah, but we have to understand the difference.
Yeah. I get that from people all the time too. So I'm ambivert, but I love spending time with myself, learning about
Mm.
myself. I hate when people would say that, oh, you're so lonely. I'm like, no, I'm not. Why are you projecting onto me?
No.
I love myself. I love what I'm trying to do, build, and create. Don't
Yeah.
project on me, please.
100%. 100%.
And like that comes back to the point of doing that hard, dark work, looking yourself in the mirror, trying to figure out where you belong in this world, how you want to proceed by being an intrapreneur or being an entrepreneur, and just take that route and do what you feel you need to do, but come from a place of healing, a place of power and understanding within yourself.
100%. 100%. That's the thing. Going back to like having a vision. People ask me like, why would you need a vision? Because the vision is like a destination. It's something that you know where to go. If you don't have a destination, if you don't have a direction, if you don't know where you're going, every road will take you there. You will be like a ship that is, drifting in the ocean, and you just like, you have no control. You're just like, you're kind of moving, but you're not making progress. It's funny enough, right? You're moving, but you're not making progress.
Stand for nothing, you fall for everything.
That's it. That's it. That's why having a vision is, like, I remember some times ago, a long time ago, someone asked me like, why it looks like you never give up. You're so relentless. I was like, yeah, it's just nothing is going to stop me. Like nothing is going to stop me. If I can't, like if I can't run, I walk. If I can't walk, I will crawl. I will move. Even if it's just like just a little bit every single day, I will move. I will find strength in myself because I have a vision. I have a reason why to do so. There's a beautiful book by Simon Sinek, Start with Why. Like if you have that why, if you have that vision, so your why is that vision. If you know why you're doing this at the very first place, you will never find an excuse. You don't even need a motivation because you just have discipline because you know why you're doing it. I think it's great to have motivation, by the way, but motivation is
But
a little
that
bit.
doesn't last.
It's overrated. It's like when people are like, oh, when I'm going to be motivated, or I'm waiting for someone to motivate me. What if they will never fucking come? You have to motivate yourself. And if you want to motivate yourself, you have to have a reason. You have to have a vision, and that vision will motivate you. But then it's not really a motivation; it's just a discipline. But then
Love that.
people say like, how do you sell discipline? Like, for example, how do you run every day? How do you like work every day and you actually love it? Like, I run
I was
every
born this
day.
way.
I exercise. I run every single day because it's not a choice anymore every day. It's like eating your breakfast or eating your dinner. It's part of the fucking day. That's it. It's not I'm thinking like, should I exercise today? Should I go for a walk today? No, it's part of the day. It's actually scheduled. If you look at my schedule, my run, my walk, my going to the gym, it's scheduled. It's there, so I will never miss it.
I love that. It was so powerful. So many of us stand in our own ways. The only person who's going to stop you is you.
100%.
It's a fight every day. I experienced this thing where I'm like, I get in my own way. I'm like, wait, I was doing so well. I was working out, I was building my business. I was doing my podcast. And I'm like, oh, I'm having an off day. I'm going to lay on the couch. But I have to remember, I can't let that one moment of temporary sanity ruin the whole week or the whole day. Just remember that's that hour, maybe that 30 minutes. Then get back up and figure it out and put those steps in to build those habits, to build the discipline over time.
100%.
So many of us, we get sidetracked by one incident and it throws off everything.
Yeah.
I've been there. I'm still learning to navigate that myself.
Oh yeah, it's just like, I'll give you an example. It's like, imagine
Every
that.
day camping.
Yeah. It's like, imagine that you go into the post office and you want to send a letter, right? Or a package or something, and then you tripped and you fall down. And imagine a person saying like, "Oh my God, the whole letter sending."
The whole year's ruined.
Yeah, it's just like sending letters doesn't work. I was on my way to the post office and just sending letters doesn't work. And someone will be walking by and they will ask like, "Excuse me, sir, where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going to the post office." "Oh, don't do it. It just doesn't fucking work, man." It's like, no, it's just because you failed once, it doesn't mean you're going to fail every single time. But those miserable fuckers, they will fail once and they will tell everyone that like doing the thing doesn't work, doing leaflets doesn't work, starting a business doesn't work. Yeah, it's because you have to sometimes, give it a go like 5 times and sometimes 7, and sometimes you have to try 12 times. Like J.K. Rowling, like if she would give up, we would never have Harry Potter. But it was the person number 12 or 13 who said actually, "Oh, okay, I like the book, let's publish it." If she would give up after 3rd time or 5th time or 7th time, we would never have Harry Potter. The same, one of my favorite stories, Sylvester Stallone, right? He wrote the Rocky, script, and he wanted to sell. And actually, a lot of people or businesses, companies, they wanted to buy, but they said like, "But we don't want you to be the main actor. We want someone else." And Sylvester Stallone, he was like, "I am Rocky. And if I am not Rocky, no one is Rocky." And somehow he convinced them, and the rest of his history, right?
We just get in our own way. We just can't get past that one miserable moment.
Oh yeah.
It's really unfortunate. People always see They're like, oh, look, he's built a business. He has a coaching business or he has a podcast. Why can't I do that? Why can't I get there? But they're missing the journey along the way.
That's
They
true.
see how it is now, but they don't see what you had to do, what you had to go through, the road you had to walk and build up to in order to get there. They stop themselves before they even start.
But they don't actually understand that, you know, when people say like, oh, it's not a destination, it's a journey, right? But that's true. This is where the fun is. You know, it's like, I will compare it to a video game. You know, when you play a video game, you don't want to win and finish the video game. You want to continue having fun. You want to continue playing because that's where the fun is. And so that's true. It's the destination because that's where the fun is. So I always say, enjoy that journey because it's really fun. But don't treat it so seriously. You know, like, have fun. If you fail, it's like, again, playing a video game. Okay, start again. You know, start better. That's it. But start having fun. Have some laugh. If you made a mistake, just laugh about it. It's like, okay, if it doesn't matter in 12 months' time, then just laugh. Don't worry about it. Because worrying is like sitting in a rocket chair. You have something to do. You know, you're busy, but you're not very productive. So stop worrying and stop finding solutions. You know, stop finding excuses. Like, for example, sometimes I have those challenges that I do for myself that for 30 days or 45 days or 60 days or 90 days, I will be running every day for, let's say, 60 days. And I will do about, let's say, 6 to 7 miles, 10 kilometers, which is about 6.3 miles, right? Yeah, every day. And then people would say like, oh my God, like, how about if it's raining? Well, then I will get fucking wet. That's it. And like, why would you just keep looking for excuses rather than just do the thing? Like, get a coat. I mean, like, run it with an umbrella. That's it. I was like, yeah, but I would look silly. So I mean, like, it's just like, at least someone will remember you, you know?
It's hard to break that habit because I was there myself. I'm learning to be more disciplined, to remove those excuses. Because always those stories we tell ourselves, those excuses that we get in our own way, that we can't accomplish what we're trying to accomplish.
I've got this all the time when people ask like, how do you become so disciplined? And I was,
how do you?
Yeah, it's like, it's very simple, you know. I drink my disciplined milkshake in the morning and I'm very disciplined through the entire day. Wrong. There's no such a fucking thing. You just do it. You know, you just doing the thing. There's no excuses. It becomes part of it. Just become part of the day or part of the process or part of the week or a month or a whole year, that you just like, you know, there's a breakfast, there's a gym, there's dinner, there's work. It's just like, there's no excuses. Am I going to go to the gym today? No, it's like, what time am I going to go to the gym today?
So let me ask you this. I know there's some people out there right now probably like, oh, these guys don't understand my life. They don't understand what I've been through, how I'm struggling. Those people, they want to change their lives. They don't know how to get there to change their lives. What are some simple steps that you can maybe give them to just to start small, to kind of start making that change? Nothing too big.
The best thing to do is to start dreaming a little bit. You know, become that kid when you were 12 years old, 14 years old, you know, 10 years old, and just start dreaming. Like, if money is not a problem, for example, because usually it's money and time, right? If money and time is not a problem, what would you like to do? Where would you like to go? You know, who would you like to become? If there's no obstacles, what would you like to do with your life? And that, because when people ask themselves that question, suddenly it's like, okay, so if I've got the money, I would start traveling. Great question. Where? For how long? What would you like to do? I want to go to Mexico. Where about? Mexico is big. You know,
You're building a vision right there.
It's just like, start asking there's a hidden force out there, and that hidden force is asking better questions, asking yourself better questions, asking your clients better questions, asking your siblings better questions, just asking better questions. Simply by asking better questions, you're going to create a better life.
Wow, I love that. Asking better questions. That is very well
Because
said.
most people, they ask lazy questions and they've got lazy results or lazy answers. Because what do you get when you ask a question? Usually you get an answer. But if it's a lazy question, you're going to get a lazy answer. If you're going to ask a laser focused question, even your brain will become with a laser focused answer. As simple as that.
And you do have to train yourself to do that.
It takes time, it takes practice, but how do you get great at something? If you want to be the best Formula One driver, it's practice. It's like, I remember I was doing a speech at one of the UK universities, London universities, and someone asked me like, "Oh, how do you get better at something?" Like, you fucking practice it, and it usually takes 7 years to become a master of it, and that's it. As simple as that. I also say it goes like this. First you learn, then you practice, then you become master of it, and then you become a fucking legend. As simple as that.
Hell yeah, fucking legend. I love that.
But there is a sequence of events. First you have to learn the recipe, then you practice the recipe, then you master the recipe, and then you're becoming, Gordon Ramsay, a fucking legend. As simple as that.
But also, you gotta remember, don't quit. Don't quit on yourself.
No.
Don't quit on your team. You gotta keep going. You can't stop. Maybe a day off, sure, but you keep going after that day. You gotta keep going. Don't let yourself
even if you want to have a day off, make sure that you have no 0% days. Even on your day off, do something that will get you closer to your dream, to your vision, because you will be very happy, or you will be very thankful to yourself the next day. You'll be like, hey, I wanted to do nothing yesterday, but at least I sent one email. I read one page, I read an article, something. But something every day. If you do something every day for the next year, I'm sure you'll be way better off than most people.
And towards the end of that year, as that grows, it'll become so much easier. It'll compound.
Yep, 100%.
And you built that habit. You built the discipline.
100%.
Before you know it, you're doing all of it. You're like, bam, I got this.
Because it works like this. I always say to people, look, if you don't want to go to the gym, right? It's not that you don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to exercise, right? So I would say to my clients, so don't exercise, but go to the gym. And they were like, what do you mean? Just go to the gym. You don't have to exercise. Just go to the fucking gym. Because probability is quite high that once you get to the gym, you will at least do something. And 5 minutes of exercise or 10 minutes of exercise is way better than 0 minutes of exercise. But the chances are that if you go to the gym, you will actually do something. It doesn't have to be a lot. 10, 15 minutes rather than 2 hours. It's still better than nothing.
Pick up a weight. Pick up a ball.
Yeah, that's it.
Jumping jack.
Like, I'll give it that example. When people say like, okay, so you go 90 days, you will be doing 6 miles every day. How do you do that? How do you motivate yourself? I was like, because I'm not actually doing 6 miles a day. I am only asking myself to do 1 mile. And if I do 1 mile and I feel like doing another mile, I will do another mile. And then I will do another one. Because usually the first mile is the worst. Is the most difficult. But the second one is not too bad. Number 3 is actually, you now warm up. It's like, yeah, let's keep it going, And then number 4 and 5 is just like, you don't even feel it. And then like 1 hour later, it's like, okay, now it's like 7 miles. Fine.
So if our audience didn't catch that, what you pretty much are saying is you're building up to it.
100%.
You're not going 6 miles in one day.
No.
You're building up to that over time, and you're building that habit.
No, I'm not asking myself to do 6 miles every day. I'm asking myself just to go for a little run, or just for a short run. Ideally, if I can do 6, 7 miles, that's great. If I do 1, I'm happy about it because it's still something rather than 0.
I love that because I first started on my journey probably like 5 years ago. I was frustrated about sitting at work, just doing nothing on my ass, on my breaks, and I started walking on my breaks. I just started going out for 15-minute walks every break.
Great.
And I noticed the difference it did to me. That I
And
started doing walks
it
after
adds
work.
up, right? Everything
Going
adds
to
up.
the gym. It opened the door for me to create better discipline and better habits in my life. Am I fixed completely? No. But it's just that journey that we talked about. We're building it up. I love
100%.
that. Hell yeah. I want to thank you for coming on our show. It's been a really pleasure having you on here. Really enjoyed our conversation. Before we go, is there anything you want to leave our audience with to help them along the way on their journey, and how they can reach out to you if they'd like your help with that?
I mean, I always want to say to people that you are not alone. There's a lot of people out there who are thinking about you, including your parents, your siblings, your friends, your colleagues. So you are not alone. But people are not in your head. If you need help, you have to ask for it. So don't be afraid of doing so. You don't have to be alone with everything. And you don't have to talk to 100 people. You don't even have to talk to 5 people. Talking to 1 or 2 people is more helpful than talking to no one. Right. So I want to leave people with that. It's just that, but you have to take some action. Funny enough, if you have no one to talk to, just talk to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not perfect, but at least it will give you some advice. If not advice, at least it will give you some feedback, because ChatGPT doesn't have any feelings, but at the same time, it will be very honest. Because this is just AI. It will be very honest, and sometimes it might give you some advice that you haven't even think about. The second thing, if you want to find me online, fortunately enough, there's not that many Jake Smolareks out there. So if you Google my name, Jake Smolarek, I will probably pop out straight away. I'm quite good in marketing. So yeah.
You mean AI doesn't care about your feelings? What?
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's still. I mean, to be honest with you, AI is smart, but AI is not as smart as we think as it is. To be honest, at least not yet. At least not yet.
Yeah, once it gets there, we'll have a whole different conversation.
Yeah, that's a different story.
And I'll also put down the show notes where they can reach out to you as well. I have one last question for you. What does it mean to you to be a human being?
To live your life on 100%. Listen, you're not a fucking tree. You can do whatever you want. You're not a goose that you have to fly south in winter. You can fly anywhere you want. We are so privileged that we can make any choice we want. We can have, you can do whatever you want. Just do what you want to do. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something, because you actually can.
Ooh, very well said. Thank you so much for that. Jake, it was a pleasure having you on here today.
That was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for your time. And audience, please let us know what your biggest takeaway from today's podcast was. Have a good rest of your day, Jake.
Thank you very much. Take care.